I think Indy is the worst team at 8-8 in the division.
I was gonna say I see Indy being between 6 and 8 wins. Again, unless that I do have that caveat if the defense makes a leap, but I don't really see it. I see a small step forward. I see them continuing to actually make progress, and they'll be better next season. But yeah, this season I see them between 6 and 8. Texans to me are the epitome of a boom or bust team. If everyone stays healthy, they're a very dangerous team. They are a playoff team and could very well be a contender. But that's a huge if, especially given who they have. J.J. Watt, bad injury history. Deshaun Watson coming off that bad injury that we talked about. Jadeveon Clowney with an injury history with his knees. Fuller injury history. Not terrible, not as bad as Watt, but if they can. If the majority of their star players can maintain health, they could be a very dangerous team, and they could easily, be a wild card team. I agree. Jaguars win the division. Tennessee, I do like Matt LaFleur, so I think their offense is going to be much improved. I think they could be a 10-win team if that, if everything comes together. If Mariota's last season really was just a fluke bad season, they do happen. But yeah, I think I'm in agreement with you that it's Jaguars, Titans, Texans, but Texans could absolutely leap up and be fighting with the Jaguars for first, and then Indy at the bottom.
So my thoughts when I was just looking at it, thinking how many wins? Jacksonville 13-3.
I was gonna say they're 11-13.
Then I think you got Tennessee wins 10, and then Texans either 9-7 or 8-8, and then win the tiebreaker over the Colts.
Yeah. And I think they fight for the wild card.
I go against the grain a little bit. I'm gonna give Jacksonville the division. I'm gonna say Houston rises up and they get second, only because I don't think Tennessee's gonna hold.
The reason
that's very valid because it could absolutely go either way with those two.
The reason
Titans,
I think,
and then Texas,
Titans then
Colts in fourth. Yeah.
The reason I think the Titans are still ahead of the Texans is because even though Marcus Mariota last season had a huge regression, it's every player on that team is a safety blanket. They make smart plays. They're the type that if you have a decent quarterback, make him look good. Yeah. They have wide receivers who come back to the ball. They have a tight end that literally will catch anything you throw to him. They have not one, but two established running backs. One being a better receiver than the other in Deion Lewis. But the entire team is literally a safety blanket for Marcus Mariota, which is smart planning by the Tennessee Titans, not to mention they have a killer offensive line.
They do. Again, if their QB coach, their OC rather, their new OC, really does have that quarterback magic that seems he does, then this might be the Titans' best season that we can remember. What I think with the Titans and the Texans is that the Titans are the higher floor team and the Texans are the higher ceiling team. I think that Texans team has just a crapload of talent if they can stay healthy.
Yep. Maybe make it interesting for the division. Who knows?
Yeah, and this is funny because 5 years ago, or even less, this was a division that couldn't get a 9-win. The 9 wins was the top of the division.
You haven't flipped the script yet and see Indy surge. Well, nobody.
I don't believe in Andrew Luck.
I do believe he makes them way better. I just don't believe that there's enough talent around.
Better than Jacoby Brissett, obviously. I'm not saying.
But he makes them from a
3-win team to an 8.
I think that's pretty significant with the lack of other talent on that team on the offensive side, and with zero O-line. I see analysts say Luck has to get the ball out quicker. I'm like, well, no shit when he's got no time to throw the ball, but he was getting it out before his injury, in
less than
30 seconds.
Take the snap, just throw it.
Yeah. He was still getting hit while he threw. So that's just a ridiculous assessment when the real problem is that they've given him nothing to work with on the O-line until finally they got him a draft pick this year. But that's no guarantee that there's going to be any kind of drastic improvement.
And then they couldn't use a running back as a blocker because you needed Frank Gore to run.
Yeah.
You couldn't have him block because you needed him to do other things.
So, yes, they could win a couple more games, but I really think that they're about a 6 to 8 win team.
All right.
I don't see them being better than that without a much better O-line
At least
or
Frank,
something.
Yeah, I was just gonna say at least Frank Gore was pretty consistent in fantasy. I mean,
he's always a great RB2.
Yeah,
always a great RB2. There's nothing, Mr. Consistent. Like, oh, yep, I'll take that. I'll go for
8,
home
9
runs
solid
elsewhere.
points. Yep.
And you'll always get him way down in the draft too.
Okay, so AFC South, anything more before we move on to NFC West?
Oh, we're doing 2.
We're doing 2.
I didn't even realize. I didn't see that.
Yes, we're doing
Where was
2.
the schedule this week?
I don't know. NFC West. We're going to start this off with a little bit of controversy. Okay, like I said, I'm doing these alphabetical order. 49ers, do they start with a 4 or an F? Because that changes where they go.
Does their name start with a 4 or an F?
Exactly.
It starts with a 4. It's
So 4 comes before C, so 49ers is first. The big question, Jimmy G, is he really dating a porn star? I'm kidding.
I was like, you caught me off guard by that. Where is this coming from? Because I don't recall seeing this.
He went out on the town with a porn star who has boobs bigger than the rest of her body.
Who?
I don't remember her name. Just look up Jimmy G porn star, and you'll.
Just another porn star.
Yeah, just seriously, she nothing even attractive, but whatever. Is Jimmy G going to be what we saw last season, or will he be a one and done?
Hopefully.
What?
Hopefully, because that'd be fun to watch.
A one and done?
No.
Or
if he were to-
okay.
Yeah.
I think he's the truth.
We know you think
he
he's the
passes. For me, he passes the eye test.
And the stat test.
Is he elite? Probably not yet, but I think he's the truth. I think you're gonna see some good numbers from him, and I think he's gonna be really good for the 49ers, and I think they've got the franchise guy.
Here's all you need to know. He went into a season where the team was playing like shit and won with them.
And won 4 or 5 in a row?
Yeah.
And it wasn't against like chumps. Like it was some teams that were not great.
Every team not named the Dallas Cowboys are chumps. But that's all you need to know. He won. He went into a losing team and he won. And he won. And he won. What more do you need? The guy's winning.
It's true.
The guy's winning.
All right, so 49ers are, I think, probably the biggest question mark in that division.
I disagree.
You think it's the Cardinals?
I disagree with even that.
You think it's the Seahawks?
I think it's the Seahawks.
Okay, all right, we'll get to that.
Yep.
49ers, besides Jimmy G.
Reuben Foster. Will he continue to be a distraction? He failed a drug test at the combine. He's been arrested. He's been accused of domestic abuse.
Yeah, that's huge issues. That's like those aren't small things, and I think he is, unfortunately, unless he does a lot of growing up real quick, I think he's going to end up being a detriment to them.
That's what it seems like. It seems like he's on a similar path to what we were talking about with Jameis Winston. Like, all he's done since he's gone to the NFL has been just acted inappropriately, and I know he's been, what's the word? He's been, he was found not guilty or whatever. The best word to use is, I'm not a lawyer yet. He's been acquitted, I guess. Yeah. Whatever. He apparently didn't do it. But to be accused of it, and, I mean, I don't know what to think anymore. I just have to believe that based on the character issues that we had seen coming out of Alabama, the issues that he had fighting with the people at the hospital, getting kicked out of the combine, failing a drug test, that he's not a good person.
Right, and yes, that could just be a lot of immaturity, and he could grow as a person. I'm never going to say someone cannot grow. Hopefully, everyone can, but I don't have a lot of faith in him, and I think the 49ers are going to look to move on from him.
Which is sad because this is only his second year.
Yeah, but they have They have reason for a lot of hope. They got Mike McGlinchey. He's gonna.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna be a great tackle. Yes, it was a bit of a reach, but
if you know that there's someone you want, you go get them.
yeah, and they're doing the right thing. They're building around Jimmy G. They got him with their first pick, and then they got Dante Pettis with their second pick. That is a signal to the league. That is a signal to Jimmy G. That's confidence in Jimmy G. That's, hey, do it. We're building around you. We're giving you the tools to succeed. They're gonna give him the keys to the city, I think, if he can continue winning. And I think he's going to. He's a guy that just, he's a winner, and he's got that mentality, but seems to not be a hero ball type guy.
And
either.
I was just going to make that
he's
point.
Smart.
The receivers that they have around him are the same. You're not going to see Chris Godwin be like, you know what? I am the truth. Give me the money. He's also the same type that's like, I'm going to stay humble, shut up, do my job, because in the long run, that's how I'm going to make my career. And it's great.
Yeah. They got Jerick McKinnon, who we were just talking about. Vastly underrated.
Vastly underrated.
He's a guy that can do everything. He can catch. He can run. He can run either between the tackles or
he blocks
to the sideline. Yep, he blocks. He's a great addition. I don't think he's elite at any one of those things, but he's good all around, and that's very important to have. They signed Richard Sherman, who I know Tony is not a fan of as far as his attitude, but you cannot be anything other than a fan of his talent. Play. Yeah.
And his intelligence. He's a Stanford man.
Yeah, and he brings a lot to the locker room too. He is a locker room leader. He's gonna be the defensive leader. I don't care that it's his first year with the team. If anyone's gonna get Foster in line, it would be him. And they've got DeForest Buckner to anchor the line. So I think the 49ers are going to take a huge step forward. Last year they were a 6-win team. They were 6-10. I could easily see them reversing that.
Okay. All right. Let's move on because we got to get through this because it's already 9 o'clock. Cardinals. Can Sam Bradford or Mike Glennon provide any kind of spark to bring the Cardinals back to the forefront of the NFC? Is Josh Rosen the chosen Rosen in Arizona? Is there anybody who doesn't like Larry Fitzgerald? How will David Johnson bounce back from his injury? Will Christian Kirk be the most dangerous punt returner in the NFL?
Oh, I like Kirk. I do like Kirk.
I don't like him as a receiver, as a returner.
Yes. Yep. I don't think he's great as a receiver. Larry Fitz is Mr. Consistent.
Is there anybody that doesn't like him? The answer is no.
How could you not? He's going to be a Cardinal for life, even though he's probably not within the timeline for them to win if they're going to with Rosen, if Rosen does turn out to be, really good. And we talked about, he seems to probably have some attitude problems.
Well,
he's young.
I think his attitude problems aren't it's cockiness, not.
Yeah, it's not terrible.
Immaturity.
It's fixable.
Yeah.
So he could very well grow into an elite quarterback.
Again, though, when you've been called chosen Rosen since high school,
right,
you're going to have an attitude.
Bradford is, as
joke.
we know, made of glass. So they're not going anywhere with him. He's always been a pretty solid game manager when he's healthy. So he's not going to lose you a bunch of games. He's probably going to start the season. But can he finish it? I highly doubt it.
He's going to be traded before the season's over. Because you're not going to need him, Mike Glennon, and